The White Snoop and T-Rose Show, starring the White Snoop and T-Rose.
Tweet us during the show using the hashtag Snoop Show.
The White Snoop and T-Rose Show.
And welcome back. This is the White Snoop and T-Rose Show. Of course, I'm the White Snoop. This is T-Rose. Back for another episode, number 12. We're keeping this fucking thing in gear this year. So yeah, we're not fucking around. So let's get right to. No, I'm serious. Let's get right to business. Of course, big topic right now. Chris Paul, another point guard out. They're saying what, 6 weeks?
Yeah, shoulder.
Yeah, separated shoulder. Did you see the fall?
No, I did not know.
I mean, if you watch the Louisville kid break his leg, then you can handle it. But it doesn't look pretty.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I mean, he hit the ground pretty good. You know, obviously separated his shoulder. He looked like he was in a lot of pain. They say he left the arena in a sling. So yeah, it's going to be a long 6 weeks for the Clippers, though. I mean, you know, they've had a couple games already without him. Darren Collison's played pretty well. Chris Paul actually noted in a recent interview, I don't know if you saw this, apparently Darren Collison was his backup point guard the last time he had a major injury over in New Orleans, too. So he's starting to think that he's bad luck.
Oh. Well, or it could just be bad to be a point guard these days. Just dropping like flies.
Yeah. Big names, small names are all falling apart.
Oh, man. Knees, ankles, shoulders.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, it's definitely rough. I mean, Chris Paul's not even the only one hurt. I mean, of course, he's the biggest name. You know, to stay on the Clippers really quick. I mean, their offense, I mean, it's pretty much dependent on everything that Chris Paul does. And unfortunately, there's not a lot that you can do from the sidelines. So, I mean, they're going to have to try to find other ways to get their offense going. Blake Griffin's definitely, of course, going to need to step up. Darren Collison, you know, now he's going to have a greater role. You know, they're probably the two most important, you know, in keeping this thing. You know, Jamal Crawford. You know, he's going to be asked to do a lot more.
Yeah, just, I don't know if you want him playing point guard.
Well, I'm not saying point guard. I'm just saying
bring nightmares back to Knicks fans.
Yeah, he did drop 45 once. Maybe he could do that again for them.
They'll take 30 shots and they'll lose by 20, but that's all right. Anyway.
So, of course, the other point guard, former Clippers point guard, actually, he had to step in for Chris Paul last year when Chris Paul was hurt, and now he's hurt himself, Eric Bledsoe. They believe that he had a meniscus tear in his December 30th return to LA to play the Clippers. So now they're saying that he's going to require surgery to repair cartilage in his right knee. So, and the term that they're using right now is out indefinitely.
So it's not a good term, indefinitely. Yeah, just no, another point guard, another bum knee injury. I don't really not much else to say. Mm-hmm. And it actually stinks for Phoenix because they were actually playing pretty well, a lot better than I remember because I had them as the worst team. So they're making me look.
Yeah, they were supposed to be the worst team in the West, and without looking at the standings, I believe off the top of my head they were in 7th.
Yeah, so they're making me look real bad,
which is 8 higher than everybody expected. So, I mean, it's definitely going to be rough for them. I mean, him and Goran Dragic in the backcourt have been playing so well together. I mean, they're overachieving so high. I mean, I heard a lot of talk of Eric Bledsoe is going to be a runner in the running for most improved player. I mean,
yeah, no, that definitely was a possibility, but now we'll never know. So,
yeah, I mean, we don't know how long indefinitely is. I looked it up, couldn't find it, but it's not looking good. I mean, if you think about meniscus tears, I mean, Russell Westbrook was out. I mean, off the top of my head, 6 months?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I mean, they're saying Derrick Rose is going to be out for the rest of the season with the meniscus tear. Dwayne Wade a few years ago, you know, had a similar, and he was out for a while. And it's going to be rough. I mean, there's always a possibility we don't see Eric Bledsoe for the rest of the season, which would obviously kill his chances for most improved player. Could also hurt the Suns' chances to make the playoffs, which may or may not be a good thing. Because, I mean, not that anybody expected them to go far. I mean, not that anybody expected them to be in the 7th seed either. But, maybe getting a low lottery pick, to add to their young core wouldn't be the worst thing. So, luckily there wasn't championship aspirations in Phoenix. So, I don't know what else to say about. Yeah.
No, the Suns. No.
Yeah. So, moving on to fun news. There was a big trade recently.
Big trade.
Of course, everybody's familiar with that.
But you got to announce it right.
Well, Andrew Bynum and some draft picks.
No. See, you already said no. You didn't say it right. The contract of Andrew Bynum and some draft picks. No, you gotta say it right because that's how the trade was announced as the contract of Andrew Bynum.
Yeah. Well, Andrew Bynum, I'm sure, never flew to Chicago.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
I'm sure he knew.
Just send us the contract. Just send us the contract, and we'll take care of everything else.
Yeah.
Here's the little bag. Here's the draft pick. Take whatever you want. Just
Bynum probably had the notarized release to Andrew Bynum to drop off at his house on his way to his new home in Cleveland.
Yeah. So So see, you gotta announce it right.
So first, we'll talk about what the Bulls are doing. Obviously the Chicago Bulls. The beginning of the season, they had the return of Derrick Rose, and it was title run. Everybody wanted to do Bynum-Deng, Boozer's ready. Noah. They all played great last season. Jimmy Butler's looked phenomenal. And now Derrick Rose is back, and everybody had their hopes up, and Derrick Rose had a new injury, changed the whole course. They've been struggling to find point guard play because Kirk Heinrich can only do so much, and he's been hurt too.
And he's in trade rumors as well.
And now they've added DJ Augustine, who's done all right for them. He's obviously not going to be the answer for a championship team. Especially one that relied on Derrick Rose so much. DJ Augustine isn't going to carry a team to a championship. And if he does, I will gladly admit to being wrong on that. But I stand by that. So, obviously now Deng traded. Bynum's now waived. Which we all expected as soon as the trade went down.
Saved him about, $20 million?
Yeah, I heard about $20 million.
Yeah, so
it puts them underneath the luxury tax, which is good. So now they're not going to get the repeater tax. And now they have more money to spend going forward. Now, they're going to be under the cap this summer.
And there's...
Not by much, though.
Yeah.
But I think it's about I think he puts them about $6 million. But if they do the amnesty Boozer, which is always a possibility, because they have yet to use their amnesty clause. So if they amnesty Boozer, they will be about... I forget the exact number, but about $22 million underneath the cap. You could sign a max guy, which would be interesting. They can sign a max guy. They can find two guys that are worth $10, $12 million, and then without being a taxpayer, they would then be able to use their mid-level, and they get the full mid-level, which is a 3-year, $18 million deal. So they could reload very quickly. Obviously Derrick Rose will be returning again next season. And they can completely reload a whole new team. They still have Taj Gibson, Jimmy Butler, Joakim Noah, which is part of their core. I know the Bulls have just... The reason why they traded Deng, and of course the rumors of Boozer, is they're looking to get younger. Derrick Rose is 24, I believe. He's going to be 25 for next season. And they just want to put a younger core around him, because obviously Derrick Rose is going to be good for a long time.
We hope.
Well, as long as his bad luck streak doesn't continue. If he can stay on the floor, we should say, well, then he should be good for a long time. So, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what the Bulls do going forward. Now the fun side.
Andrew Bynum. Of course he was waived. He's doing, I don't know, God knows what. He's probably playing with the bobbleheads that they threw away in Cleveland.
Well, he's a part-time bowler, so.
That's true, yeah, okay. Coming to a bowling alley near you.
What is Craig Sager wearing?
Wow.
We're filming this while NBA and TNT is on. Obviously, this will be on YouTube once this game is over, but if you could just go back and just look at the suit that he's wearing. Oh, my God. Wow. Okay, so back to what you were saying.
Well, no, on a serious note, what's this mean for Cleveland?
Well, first, let's finish talking about Andrew Bynum. Where is he going to go? Is he going to go somewhere? That's a good question.
I think just because, he is 7 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
He does have proven talent, but it's just going to be a matter of...
but he's expressed interest in retiring with a disinterest in playing basketball.
Okay, so
I mean,
if he doesn't want to play anymore...
Is he going to hang it up, or...
I don't... I mean, what's he, 26, 25? I mean, he's still...
He's very young.
Yeah, I mean, he's very young. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it would be interesting to see what...
I mean, of course, there's a couple teams that can use him. I mean...
A couple.
Miami Heat, they need somebody who's 7 foot. I mean, a lot of people think... Well, there's like a split on the Heat. Some people think, yeah, they'll definitely go after him because they need a 7-footer who can defend and finish around the rim, and of course he'll give them some post scoring. And then there's others that say that he doesn't fit the culture. So I guess the Miami Heat culture is they're all gym rats that love basketball, and here you got this kid that only plays it because he's 7 foot and he can make a lot of money.
Well, he has to know obviously if he gets signed somewhere, he's not going to be making a lot of money, and
well, that's the other hard part because he wants to be on a contender.
Now I look at it like, he goes to a Miami Heat. I know that the Clippers have been in talks.
The Knicks have been mentioned.
Well, I don't know if that'd be the best place for him to go.
I'm not saying it's the best place. I'm just saying.
But you look at a situation like the Miami Heat where he can show up and be halfway, not even there, and he'll still be a huge help for them.
I heard the Mavericks mentioned too.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I heard 8 teams. I've only heard those 4 specifically named.
I don't know. Like I said,
see the other interesting part with the Heat.
The thing is, like I said, in the last episode when I brought this rumor up is, time's gonna tell. Really, time will tell. I mean, if you're the Heat, you have to go through Indiana in the East, and they got this guy on their team who's 7'4". His name's Roy Hibbert. He's pretty good, not bad. And I don't think your boy Bosch wants to guard him again for 7 games. So. No. If I'm Chris Bosh,
that series can very well go 7 games.
If I'm Chris Bosh, I'm kicking. If I'm Chris Bosh and Birdman, I'm kicking down Pat Riley's.
Well, I mean, the other thing too with the Heat,
and you better not. You better don't say.
No, you already know what I'm saying.
Don't say. I will walk off the set right now if you say what I think you're going to say. Don't say.
I don't think I'm going to say what I think, but I am talking about who you're thinking of.
Don't say it.
I'm just saying.
Don't do it.
But the tough part is, listen. Before you get drastic here,
I will.
the thing is, though, is for the Miami Heat is, well, number one, they have a full roster. They have 15 guys. So, I mean, number one, they have to find a way to make room for them. And the other thing is, you already have a dead 7-footer on your roster. So what if Bynum gets hurt? Now you have 2 dead 7-footers.
Yeah, but it's low risk, high reward with both those guys. I mean, you see, they're playing fine without him. It's not like
I guess it wouldn't be the first time the Miami Heat had dead big guys on their roster together. Eddie Curry and Juwan Howard were on there together.
Joel Anthony's still on the team, for crying out loud. Does he even?
Well, at least he could play.
Okay.
He could physically go out on the basketball court.
All right, okay.
That's what I mean. I didn't say he was good.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying he could physically go out there. Juwan Howard had been on the roster sitting in a suit at the end, for 2 years.
But
his rings say "Thank you, Big 3."
No, I understand what you're saying, but the thing is, like I said,
Eddie Curry just ate all the popcorn.
Oh man, Eddie Curry! Wow. I mean, no, but the thing is, like you bring in Andrew Bynum, and like I said, I mean, he doesn't have to play every night.
I mean, the names discussed for guys that they would try to let go are Roger Mason and Joel Anthony. I mean, Roger Mason doesn't even really play.
I know. I mean, yeah. Why? Yeah, they have to think about that. Gee, man, we gotta get rid of Roger Mason. How can we get rid of this?
I mean,
to be honest with you, on a funny note, I didn't even know Roger Mason was on the Heat until you just said that. That shows you how insignificant Roger Mason is.
I'm just saying.
I understand, but I'm just telling you that's how.
But those are the 2 names. The tough part is Joel Anthony. The only hard part with letting him go is, even though he's not that good, sometimes he has helped them for the fact that he is 7 foot.
Joel Anthony? He's not 7 feet.
What is he? 6'10", 6'11"?
He's like 6'9". Look it up.
But he plays the center position.
I understand
and
that.
He guards center.
That's fine.
But he's a big body, and you can physically help him.
I understand that, but a guy like Bynum,
if healthy, that's the key.
No, I understand that, but like I said, I think if they
I'm just
bring
saying,
him
I think
in,
we can both agree that you cut Roger Mason. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I didn't even know he was on the team, so I'm already snip.
Okay. That's all I'm saying.
No, that's yeah. So the Heat thing is intriguing. I mean, what's one more knucklehead on that roster? They bought in Be Easy down there after all the issues.
He's been playing pretty well. For them.
So if they were to bring him in there, we would find out if this dude seriously wants to play basketball or not. I mean, because to me, if I'm in the front office of Miami Heat, it's a no-brainer. I mean, like I said, obviously you give him a non-guaranteed contract, and if he acts up, you send him home, just like the Cavaliers did. I mean, like I said,
you're only talking about
risk.
a couple months. I mean, you really need a non-guaranteed deal.
But to me, it's low risk, high reward, especially if obviously they're going to play Indiana in the East, and when he's on his game, Roy Hibbert's going to have to guard him. He didn't have, no. I love Birdman, but Roy Hibbert wasn't guarding him, and it's just he's gonna have to defend him when he's So if to me, it's a no-brainer.
The only thing I found really funny with the whole Bynum situation is he started acting up like a week before the second half of his contract being guaranteed.
Well, no one said he was smart. I mean,
I'm just saying it doesn't make sense. Like he made $6 million for the first half.
Yeah.
And if he just could have kept his mouth shut for another week, he would have made $6 more million. I'm sorry. I'm gonna throw this out there.
Well,
just in case. No, listen, because you could throw this out. Anybody out there, if anybody wants to offer me $6 million, I won't say shit for a week. I will. That you can put fucking duct tape on my mouth. I won't answer phone calls. I won't do anything for a week. For $6 million, I would totally do that.
Yeah, well, some people can't handle that, as we found out.
I would absolutely handle that. $6 million?
Oh,
shit, I'll do it for $3.
Listen.
I just got to call out at work because I need to talk it, to do my job. So I would have to call out. Be like, sorry, I'm making $6 million. I'll see you next Monday.
So, and then someone I talked to they were like, oh, They gave him 3 draft picks. It's like it's 2 second-rounders and a lottery protected.
Well, I want to get to. I just want to make one more comment on the Bynum. Then I want to get to the Cavaliers.
Okay, because I might have one of my rants in a minute here. So don't.
The other thing with Bynum is if he does go to the Miami Heat, for instance, I think if you put him in the Knicks and he doesn't work out, it's that he could try again. But I feel like if you put him on the Miami Heat, you got this great team. You got a title contender. They have a good coach. They have LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade. I mean, that's 3 superstars to be around.
And then you have the veteran leadership. You got Ray Allen. You got
Shane Battier. With the crew that they have, and the fact that they can win it all. I mean, Bynum can put another ring on his finger if he joins that team. I feel like if he does join the Miami Heat and then doesn't work out and ends up getting cut, that might be the end of his NBA career. Because if he's not going to work out there, where would he work out?
Sacramento.
You hate their coach. If you want to send him to Sacramento, you must hate their coach.
The inmates run the asylum.
They'll trade for Rondo. Are we talking about that? They'll trade for Rondo. They'll add Bynum.
So let's see. Wait. So Rondo, McLemore. No.
And Mike Malone will hang himself in the office.
What would their starting 5 be?
It would be Bynum. You'd have to move Cousins to the 4.
I would. Yeah.
And then you put Rudy Gay at the 3. Ben McLemore, he can play the 2.
Who's a little.
And then Rondo's at the 1.
Man. Wow. Talk about. Yeah.
With Joey Crawford referee all their games.
Him and.
That's all I ask.
Oh, man.
I would watch every Sacramento Kings game if those 5 played and they no substitutions and Joey Crawford's the referee.
All right.
I'm in.
Sounds good.
I'd watch every Kings game from start to finish.
So are we going to talk about the Cavs now?
Yeah. So moving on to the Cavs.
Well, hold on. I gotta go on my draft pick rant because somebody was like, "What's Cleveland doing trading draft picks?" I'm like, "Did you?" There are 2 second rounders.
They have a lot of them too.
Yeah, but did anybody see? Yeah. Did anybody see these picks? It was 2 second rounders and a lottery protected first. Okay. Listen, I'm not saying that the draft picks aren't going to amount to anything, but the draft picks most likely aren't going to amount to anything. I mean, I know. I mean, and it's not like we're talking about Dan Gilbert here drafting like people. This isn't
I heard another analyst say that the fact that he would have been the one drafting, you're probably fine giving him up.
It's not because he. I mean, and I told my friend I asked this person. I said, name me one person that the Cavaliers was drafted, not named LeBron or Kyrie Irving. That they haven't just whiffed on completely. They drafted this knucklehead Waiters. He thinks he's better than Kyrie Irving. He's out of his mind, And they passed on Harrison Barnes. They passed on they passed on some pretty good players. I think Harrison Barnes would look good in the Cavaliers uniform right now, playing next to.
They really needed a 3 too.
We were sitting here saying I thought they were going to draft him. They drafted this kid Anthony Bennett. He doesn't really have a position. They already had a power forward.
That was the number 1 pick.
Yeah, I know. So it's not like
Tristan Thompson doing.
Yeah, he's playing better than Anthony Bennett is. I mean,
I'll give him that. So is Deion Waiters though.
No. So it's not like
I'm doing better than Anthony Bennett in my rec league.
I'm not.
I made a shot today.
I'm not.
When was the last time Anthony Bennett did that?
I'm not saying he's that. I think Anthony Bennett's going to be? I think he's going to be one of those guys. Like if they can't find somewhere, like if they can't find a position for him to play in Cleveland, they're going to move him. He's going to go somewhere else, and he's going to turn into a star. And once again, we will be looking at this camera, and I will be ridiculing Dan Gilbert and the Cleveland Cavaliers. So mark that down somewhere when that happens. So to me, the draft picks aren't really important.
Yeah.
Now, moving on to the Cavs side, I like this deal for the Cavs. I mean, because Lil-Deng can play. I mean, we know he can play. He's just what the Cleveland needs, and I think he's gonna ball the last half of the year because he wants to, he thinks he's worth big money. Which don't get me started on that. I like Lil-Deng, but. Come on now, okay? So he's going to ball. He's not going to go there and slack around because he's playing for a contract. This contract that he wants. I mean, God bless him if he gets what he's asking for. But, I like it. I mean, and I forget, someone asked me if I thought that they asked me, they said, do I think that this move could make Cleveland a playoff team? I mean, as bad as the East? Yeah, and okay, so what if he walks away via free agency over the summer, or maybe Cleveland pays him? Because I've heard analysts say that Cleveland would pay him to show Kyrie Irving that we are trying to put a team around you, which would be something that Dan Gilbert would do. I mean, I'm not saying Lil-Deng, I'm not trashing him, but I just I don't think he's worth the money he's asking for. That's all. I just don't think he's worth it.
Now, my only reservation with the trade as far as the Cavaliers, I think we both agree that the Bulls made the right move.
Yeah,
they dumped salary.
They weren't going to.
They're not doing anything this season, and they're setting up for the future to build a nice, solid young core around Derrick Rose. But for Cleveland, I do have a reservation. Now, of course, if Lil-Deng balls out of his mind, re-signs there, especially if he does resign there for a decent price, he doesn't ask for too much, which I guess we'll see. And he plays well for them. Of course, that's always great. And at least they got something for the Bynum contract.
I'm glad you said it like that, by the way.
Because that's what they trade. I mean, Bynum never played in Chicago. He played as many games for Chicago as he did in Philadelphia. But I had to do it. I've been waiting for a perfect opportunity to slip a Philly joke in there. It just hadn't come up. I had it sit in.
There it is.
Thank you.
All right.
So moving back to the Cavaliers, though, the thing is I'm not so positive that Lil-Deng's definitely going to stay.
Oh, I'm not either. I actually don't think he's like.
I honestly don't think he's.
No,
gonna stay.
I don't think he is either.
If I had to tell you right now, is Lil-Deng going to stay in Cleveland? My answer is no.
Yeah.
I mean, your savior didn't stay in Cleveland. I mean, so why would Lil-Deng stay in Cleveland?
Listen, I don't think so either. But
I mean, I guess there's always the possibility that they throw the money at him, and he's like, "Wow," and here you go. So Lil-Deng's going to be 29 for next season. Mm-hmm. I mean, how many more contracts is he going to get? 2, maybe 3? mean, most NBA players retire about 36, 38.
Yeah, but but the thing is if like you said, if they throw the money at him, this will be.
He's entering what's considered your prime. The guy wants to win a championship. I mean, if you think about it, he just left the Bulls where he was competing every year. I mean, with the exception of last year where they didn't have Derrick Rose. They've been building and building and building, and they've got, so close. I mean, does he really want to start over again in Cleveland?
No, I'm not saying that. But the decision he's going to have to make is...
Do I want the money? Do I want
the money or do I want a ring? Now, if he wants a ring, I will say this, though. If he wants a ring and he ends up going somewhere for the 3 years, $30 million that the Bulls offered him, I'm going to clown the shit out of him on this show. Just... Well, you heard that too. Well, I will clown. We might have to dedicate the whole episode to me clowning Bynum-Deng if he does
I think
that.
Part of the reason why he didn't take the money wasn't about the money. I think he planned on leaving Chicago.
Maybe
for any price.
All right, that's fine. Okay,
that's what I think.
I'll give you that. So we'll have to see. But no. Whatever. Hey.
But I do think that Bynum-Deng's decision is going to be based a lot on what happens in Cleveland for the next 3 months. I mean, there's still another month that they can make trades, and then 2 months after that, they're still playing basketball. So I think the Cavaliers right now are pretty under 500. They're out of the playoff picture right now. I think if they do a huge turnaround and they make the playoffs, and I don't even think they have to win the first round, but if they get like a 7 seed and have to play Miami and they win a game,
it's definitely possible.
Maybe he can go, all right, well, maybe in a discussion with Dan Gilbert in the back, they all sit down and they have their contract negotiation. If Dan Gilbert sells the team and he's like, hey, like, we're going to pay you, and we're planning on adding more pieces. We have this guy, Kyrie Irving. He's pretty good. And we plan on making moves to win a championship.
I thought you said if Dan Gilbert sells the team. I thought you meant like literally.
Oh. No, I meant like sells the idea of his future.
I know what you meant. I'm just being
as long as he doesn't sell it to James Dolan.
Oh.
So.
All-star owners right there.
So I'm just saying, so if they play really well, they win a game in the playoffs at least, because they're gonna end up facing Indiana or Miami, unfortunately, because they're not getting higher than the 7 or 8 seed where they are. I don't see it. So unfortunately, they're going to face a powerhouse. So I mean, winning 1 or 2 games is phenomenal in that case.
Okay, so
but the upside in the Cleveland side is, I mean, they could have always just waived Bynum themselves and just save the money.
Yeah, but I think they I honestly think they wanted to try to.
That's why I think Deng leaving would kind of just hurt the whole idea.
Well, I mean, it's an expiring deal. The money comes off the books. I mean, I know it's Cleveland and it's not exactly a hot free agent destination, but
whether they waived him or traded him, the other upside is that they don't have Bynum causing a ruckus in their locker room anymore.
Yeah, so
because Bynum was a disruption to their team chemistry. I mean, that's why they eventually excused him. They excused him from all basketball activities because he was disrupting the team's chemistry. I mean, me and you both know how fragile a team's chemistry is, the importance of it, and without a disruption to the team chemistry alone, it could similar to the the Toronto Raptors improvement since the Rudy Gay. I mean, improving team chemistry could be addition by subtraction.
I like how you leaped into that. By the way,
you like that? Thank you.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
And kind of an addition by subtraction. Plus, now they have Bynum-Deng, who is a good player. So I mean, it could be good things. But while we're on the topic of team chemistry, we might as well introduce the first time ever for our new segment. I don't know if you fans have been watching. Of course, this is the brainstorm behind the operation, but it's our first ever installment of White Snoop Wisdom. So enjoy.
I'm just saying, use a little logic, make some sense. That's all I ask.
Hi everybody, I'm the White Snoop, and this is the first installment of my new segment, White Snoop Wisdom. So first off, I just want to talk to you about team chemistry and the importance of it to building a winning product on the floor. Of course, it starts in the office with your general manager. I mean, you can't just find 5 guys to throw out on the floor. I mean, a 12-man roster of just guys that are good and hope that it works. I mean, it's just not that simple, or else, you know, anybody could be the GM and every team could possibly be good. You know, instead it takes a lot more. There's a science to it, and you have to find guys with certain strengths and weaknesses that, you know, kind of complement each other and, you know, can play with each other. You know, and kind of, you know, there's a lot to accomplish on the basketball floor. You need to be able to have guys that can, you know, kind of balance each other. Maybe guys with strengths that cover other guys' weaknesses, and, you know, and so forth. So once you build your team, of course, now it's in the coach's hands, you know, to make it work. You know, you have to find different ways, different ways can, you know, to play, and, you know, setting a system, you know, different plays that kind of work to the strengths and don't really show the weaknesses of your team. So it's always very important. So, I mean, the coach's job is basically building that team chemistry, and he needs to find a way for the players to want to build that chemistry, because, of course, in the end, it always comes up to the players playing on the floor. And a huge part of team chemistry on the floor between players is trust. Of course, it's almost the only factor on the defensive end is trust. I mean, just imagine a defensive play when, you know, a guy gets by you, and you need to be able to trust that one of your teammates is going to recover for you and, you know, handle, you know, the issue. But at the same time, you need to recover on their guy, and they need to be able to trust you that if they come off their guy to help, that you are going to recover and pick up their assignment. I mean, it's just so important that, you know, of course, in pick and rolls and just shifting a defense and, you know, being able to move, you need to trust that all of your teammates are going to be in the right places at the right time, and your teammates need to be able to trust you, you know, in return. I mean, trust is just, I mean, the factor that brings a team defense all together, you know, because not everybody's guarding everybody one-on-one. That's not how it works, especially once picks come into play and you're deciding to switch and fight through, and, you know, you all just kind of have to be on the same page and trust each other. Of course, trust is also a factor on the offensive end. I mean, when you have the ball and you pass to a teammate, I mean, you need to be able to trust that they're going to make the correct play and not take bad shots. And, you know, when you're involved in a team offense, when you're playing off the ball, you need to trust that while you're moving to get open, that, you know, if you do get the opportunity, that your teammate's going to get you the ball at the right place. I mean, in passing, you know, you have to trust each other. You have to know each other. You know, be able to put the ball in the right place, and to, you know, be able to be in the right place for the pass. I mean, it's all just, it's a huge machine that works of team chemistry, and just the trust factor is just so huge. And also on the offensive end, ball movement. Ball movement is so important to team success, not just offensively, but just in general. I mean, when you're moving the ball and you're getting everybody involved, of course the benefits offensively is that you're keeping the defense on a string, you know, because they don't know who's going to be shooting next, because the ball's moving and everybody's kind of taking their turns, and good shots are to be had when the ball is moving. And good shots are always very important to a team's success, but at the same time you're keeping your shooters in rhythm, because when a shooter is touching the ball, they're going to stay in rhythm and therefore shoot at a higher percentage. When you have these isolation guys, you know, like for example a Rudy Gay or a Carmelo Anthony, these shooters aren't getting the ball, and they're therefore going to be shooting at a lower percentage, and that's why these isolation players actually hurt their team. The other way that they hurt their team is once an offense becomes stagnant, you know, now it's a lot easier to defend, because you know where each guy's going to be, because nobody's moving, because they know they're not going to get the ball because the ball's not being moved. You know, and then once they become disengaged to the game, they're not going to be rebounding, they're not going to be defending, and they're not hustling for loose balls. And once you're not doing all those things, you're pretty much guaranteed to be a losing team, because you're not doing the things that it takes to win a basketball game. So these isolation players are not only end up taking bad shots, but they're actually lowering the performance of the entire team, not just offensively, but throughout the game. And once you try to get them involved again, their rhythm is off, and they're no longer going to be, as effective as they would have been had the ball been moving from the start. And that's just the importance of team chemistry, from every level when you're building an NBA championship team. I mean, nobody does it by themselves. It's a team sport. It's always been a team sport, and it'll always be a team sport. And you need to get everybody involved, and everybody needs to do their part and be a part of that team chemistry in order for the team to be successful. And that's the science of basketball 101. Team chemistry. One of the most important factors in any championship team. I mean, and that's the reason why teams like the Dallas Mavericks in 2011 could win an NBA championship with just Dirk Nowitzki as their star. It's because all the other pieces did what they needed to do to be a part of victory. And Dirk didn't try to do it all by himself. And that's why super teams don't always work. I mean, look at the Lakers. The Lakers in recent history, they've failed. I mean, the Lakers in 04. I mean, they lost to a team that had no superstars in the Detroit Pistons. And the reason why is because the Detroit Pistons all did their part. And they had a great team chemistry. That's where the Lakers were just a lot of great players all put on one team and hoped for the best. And that's the difference between a team of good guys and a good team. I don't know what else to say about team chemistry. So I guess this is going to end the segment. So I hope you guys, learned a little something about team chemistry and the importance of it in the game of basketball. So that's the end of White Snoop Wisdom with the White Snoop. So signing off. Have a good day. And we're back. Hope you guys enjoyed the first installment of White Snoop Wisdom. Of course, we'll have future installments, on random episodes. Well, probably not every single one. Just whenever I have something special for you guys. And of course, we had T-Rose over here. We're developing a nice little segment for him that he's gonna bless you with in one of our future, hopefully soon.
Yeah.
So just to finish up on team chemistry and bring us to our final topic of the episode, our buddy J.R. Smith,
man, that's this guy
who we've been able to talk about in every show because he keeps giving us stuff. He is, he's recently busted for untying shoes at the foul line. Of course, you guys probably saw he got caught when he untied Shaw Marion's shoe, and then he busted himself when he announced that, well, it's not the first time I did it. I did it to Dwight Howard. And then now they can show you the clip of him untying Dwight Howard's shoe. And then, so the league came and gave him a warning. And they were like, look, man, like, you can't do that anymore. Please, stop with that stuff. And he's starting to remind me of Ron Artest. You remember Ron Artest when he pantsed, although Ron Artest is, now Meta World Peace is on the Knicks. So, maybe they've been hanging out too much. And, of course, then he goes and he attempts to untie Greg Monroe's shoe, although now people are paying attention. I heard somebody joke, it's probably in the scouting report, J.R. Smith, he likes to shoot, pretty good offensive player, he will untie your shoe. And it's probably true. So now people have to be on the watch for this guy untying shoes. He had to pay a $50,000 fine. And I saw another report that said he's paid $900,000 in fines in his NBA career. I think it's like 15 different things.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I saw that too. I cannot believe we're talking about this guy again.
Do you want to bring up the armored truck again?
I guess so. We might as well. We might as well.
We should have like a weekly J.R. Smith segment.
Even though I don't know how he pays for it. $900,000 in fines. I mean, well,
the Knicks paid him.
J.R. Smith. Yeah,
so
I'm just, no comment on this. No comment.
Well, since we always like to end every show with a shout out, we might as well shout out our boy J. Smith, J.R. Smith. And we'll send out a special shout out to Ron Artest, aka Meta World Peace, since he hasn't played to give us anything to talk about.
Well, I mean,
at least we got to mention his name.
I was gonna say, J.R. Smith. I mean, they released his brother from the team, so he needs someone to hang out with, and him. Him, Meta, and Kenyon Martin. Oh man. Yep.
What a disaster. So, and good news for Knicks fans, by the way, because we bashed the Knicks on a couple episodes, because they've been playing terrible. They've won 4 of the last 5.
Well, that's a relief.
So
let's just see.
Just remember, I said it here. They're not going to be that bad all year.
Yeah,
so.
let's just see how that goes.
Hey, they won 3 in a row now. They just beat the Miami Heat.
J.R. Smith.
Although J.R. Smith did not play because the coach doesn't like the way that he's been acting. I don't know if that surprised anybody. I just wanted to mention it. So
that's good. Just more time for him to drive around in his armored truck.
No, he sat courtside in his shirt. He was clapping and everything. I'm proud of him. I guess. I don't know. I mean, it's probably the best thing he's done so far this season. At least he showed support for his team. I don't know. Try to get the guy something.
Okay. You do that. I'm just...
So I don't know if you have anything else you want to add.
No.
Any other final notes or shout-outs?
I am all J.R. Smith out.
Well, not just J.R. Smith. I just mean anything about the NBA in general.
I don't know. I mean,
we hit the big topics, of course. I don't know if there was just a side thing that you have burning inside your head that you would need to get out.
Well, there was actually, I was thinking about you today. There's a funny segment on one of the Sports Center shows about, I guess Blake Griffin had some amazing dunk on somebody last night.
Oh yeah,
and they were laughing. They were making fun of him.
Somebody on the Celtics.
So the topic was do all these big dunks diminish Blake Griffin's game? And I immediately thought of you. So I was just thought that what kind of shirt is Russell Westbrook wearing right now?
Wow. They were talking about him the other day because he wore something normal like a couple days ago, and nobody knew why. They just...
It must have been cold wherever he was or something.
Well, they just... the assumption... The assumption was maybe he didn't want to attract any attention, but apparently that wasn't the reason because now he's attracting attention. Wow, why does he wear that? One of our segments should be about style. Oh, we should send it specifically to Russell Westbrook.
Remember that thing that green thing that Paul George wore?
Oh yeah, that was terrible.
Oh my God! Shout out to Paul George for that.
Shout out to bad fashion.
Man, and who else? D Wade had those capris on.
Oh yeah.
What
the fuck type of man wears capris?
Well, he grabbed Gabrielle's pants by accident. It happens sometimes.
Or it was the mistress's pants.
Oh.
Yes.
Low.
Yeah, I said it.
Oh man, yeah. Somebody's guy. There's someone.
Shout out to the baby mama.
Is there someone else that wears like goofy stuff to the games too? Yeah, maybe this is.
Well, then there's the new lensless, lensless glasses. LeBron, KD, Westbrook, and all those guys wear.
Yeah, maybe we will. We'll have to put some.
Remember they had like that. I mean, I know they didn't call it, but I call it the geek off. It was like Paul. I think it was Chris Paul and Dwight Howard when they were like coaching during an All-Star weekend.
Oh yes, they
looked so awful.
Yikes.
We should just do a fashion show where we just try to teach people to dress normal. It won't even be about the NBA. Well, I mean, we'll bring up how dumb NBA players look. Wow. So I guess that's about it.
Yeah, on that note.
Now that we got to make fun of some people.
Fashion.
If we didn't bring up fashion, we would have not made fun of anybody else.
And then there's like you mentioned in the beginning of the show, Craig Sager. We were definitely putting a picture of that suit on the show next. Like can we get that on there? We can
get some of Clyde's best.
Oh my God! He had one on a week ago. Boy, he had it on. It looked. It was like he looked in a kaleidoscope and he was like,
"That's what I want it to look like."
Oh, the expansion, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And it's funny because they do Al Trotwig. No, it's funny though because Trotwig does his thing first for MSG, and then he's like, "All right, we're gonna go courtside," and it's like they go and like Breen, he's normal, and then Clyde is just, and you're like.
He looks like a pimp from the 70s.
Man, I'd love to be his tailor.
They did Bleacher Report did a really nice segment on Craig Sager's suits. I don't know if you've ever seen that one.
Yes, I did see that.
If you guys haven't seen it, look it up. It's kind of funny.
And I know this is like off the sport, but anyone out there, Don Cherry, he's a hockey guy. He wears some suits. I showed you.
Yeah.
You
gotta look him up too.
There's a Christmas one I gotta show you. Oh my god, yeah. I don't even know how you get a suit. It was like light blue, like that color, and it had like Christmas trees on it. I don't even know how you get that made. Like, how do you?
It's terrible.
Yeah. So, enough of that. And you know what else I want to talk about? So what is this thing? See, it's all coming to me now. What is this thing? Nickname jerseys? Really?
Oh yeah.
Really, NBA?
You know the worst.
That might have to be this might have to be like my segment. Nickname jerseys.
Well, I'd say I'll take nickname jerseys over those stupid T-shirt jerseys. And I'm not saying I like either of them.
That doesn't
the T-shirt jerseys bother the shit out of me.
I just don't want to turn a basketball game on, or I would be pissed off if I bought tickets to an NBA game and like, you know, we paid a shitload of money. And we had our nice. I don't care. And we had our nice seats. Say we paid a good. You know, we had nice seats, and Ray Allen catches a pass and shoots in front of us, and I see. Jesus Shuttlesworth on the back of his jersey. That would aggravate me.
See, the thing is at least like that's like a name for him, like like King James, like people call him that D-Wade. But like,
what is this? This is a cartoon show now?
Look,
or is it just like
the T-shirt jerseys are way worse. We should have a debate on this on Twitter.
At least they have the player's right name on the back. I don't want.
I don't like the idea of sleeve jerseys.
Listen, I understand. I think they look dumb too, but I just can't deal.
Okay. Let's do this. All of our fans, let's vote. You can put it in the comment box, tweet us. Fucking, what do you hate more, the T-shirt jerseys or nickname jerseys? Okay. But I do want to say on the nickname jerseys, some of them, like I was saying, like the D-Wade, King James, the Truth, like some of them are like they're real nicknames, and it's like things that people call these people, and they know. Some of them look like they just fucking made shit up. And it's like you don't have a nickname.
Well, yeah, unfortunately, of course, because obviously you have like an 8-9 guy rotation.
Yeah,
you got to make. I mean, like so. For example, like Roger Mason Jr. has to have a nickname, but he has to have a nickname jersey.
No, he does.
And
there was another one deeper on the bench. That
I'm sure Joel Anthony has one,
but it's like
anyone else.
The one that really bothered me though, and it was because he has nicknames. And his jersey isn't any of them. It's Joe Johnson. His jersey is going to just be JJ. That's it. They've called him like ISO Joe on like every single show and game I've ever watched.
I don't know.
They always call him ISO Joe. Now KG's calling him Joe Jesus.
I think
have you seen that?
Yeah. Well, he won't be calling him that when they make the playoffs and he disappears.
Well, anyway. That's part of the name though. You don't know what Joe Jesus? You didn't watch that interview?
No.
No, the reason why they call him Joe Jesus is because he's not always there when you call on him.
Oh.
But he's always there when you need him.
Oh. I guess. Well, shout out to KG for that. That's perfect. But
that's the end of that interview on that. We should probably end the show on that.
Yeah. So maybe for the next show, we'll get shirts with our nicknames on the front.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll get a T-shirt that says White Snoop, and you have one that says T-Rose.
Yeah. Okay.
How's that? Can they be T-shirts too? There'll be a mix of T-shirt jerseys and nickname jerseys.
well, since you love the T-shirt jersey so much, you can wear that, and I'll wear it. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, so signing off.
Yeah. So. By the way, too, another just quick thing, in a past episode, of course, we talked about the NBA All-Star starters, in the future. Maybe in our next episode, we can fit in some time to talk about,
the reserves.
Probably one of the next couple episodes, we're probably going to start talking about some reserves and stuff. So, now, by the way, the Kobe Bryant leading the West in guard votes is telling everybody, try voting for the young guys. And he put a big thing out for Damian Lillard, who has now jumped up in the voting.
No, that's good.
That's pretty good. So yeah, so yeah, everybody hit us up. Let us know who you want to see in the All-Star game. Whether starters, bench players, everything. As well as telling us which one you hate more between the nickname jerseys and T-shirt jerseys. So, and I think that's how we should probably end the show. Shout out to Joe Ginger. So yeah, this has been episode 12, White Snoop T-Rose Show. Of course, on the White Snoop, this is T-Rose, and we'll see you next time.
The White Snoop T-Rose Show.
Watch more videos like old episodes on YouTube and subscribe to youtube.com/WhiteSnoop44. Follow and tweet us at 44entertainment, at WhiteSnoop44, at T-Rose_28. Use the hashtag SnoopRose Show. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/WhiteSnoop244, facebook.com/TheWhiteSnoop44. Email us at WhiteSnoopProductions@gmail.com.